Bread is one of the oldest and most ubiquitous foods in the world, and it has a long and fascinating history that spans thousands of years. From the ancient Egyptians to modern-day bakers, people have been making bread in a variety of forms and flavors for centuries. The earliest breads were simple, flatbreads made from grains that had been ground into flour and mixed with water. These flatbreads were cooked on hot stones or in clay ovens and were a staple food in many ancient cultures. In fact, the ancient Egyptians were known to have made over 50 different types of bread. As time went on, bread-making techniques evolved, and new types of bread were developed. In ancient Rome, bakers began adding yeast to their bread dough, which allowed the bread to rise and become lighter and fluffier. This was a major innovation in bread making, and it paved the way for the creation of many different types of bread. In the Middle Ages, bread making became a highly skilled trade, and bakers were required to undergo years of apprenticeship before they were allowed to work independently. Bakers in Europe began experimenting with different types of flour, and new types of bread were created, including rye bread, sourdough bread, and sweet bread. By the 19th century, bread had become a staple food in many parts of the world, and the Industrial Revolution brought about significant changes in bread making. The invention of the steam-powered mill made it possible to produce large quantities of flour quickly and cheaply, and the invention of the bread slicer made it easier to produce uniform slices of bread. Today, bread comes in a variety of forms and flavors, from the classic baguette to the hearty sourdough loaf. There are also many different types of bread from around the world, including pita bread, naan bread, and tortilla. But bread is not just a food, it also has some interesting, weird, and fun facts. Did you know that the world's largest loaf of bread weighed over 3,000 pounds and was made in South Africa in 2018? Or that the world record for the most bread eaten in 1 minute is held by a man from India who ate 87 grams of bread in 60 seconds? In some cultures, bread has a special significance. In Russia, for example, it is traditional to give a loaf of bread as a housewarming gift, as a symbol of hospitality and good luck. In Jewish tradition, 2 loaves of bread are placed on the table during the Sabbath meal to represent the double portion of manna that was provided to the Israelites in the desert. There are also some unusual breads that you may not have heard of. The Japanese have a type of bread called melon pan, which is a sweet bread with a crispy outer layer that resembles a melon. In Iceland, they have a type of bread called Hjónabandssela, which translates to marriage happiness and is a sweet bread made with raisins and cardamom. Despite its long and storied history, bread has also faced some challenges. In recent years, there has been a trend towards gluten-free diets, which has led some people to cut bread out of their diets altogether. However, many people still enjoy the comfort and satisfaction that comes from a warm slice of fresh bread, and it remains a staple food in many cultures around the world. In conclusion, bread is a food that has been loved and enjoyed for thousands of years. From the simple flatbreads of ancient times to the complex sourdough loaves of today, bread has evolved and changed with the times, but it has always remained a staple food in many cultures.
Thanks for watching.